All right, guys. Whoa, okay. Adding another sum and difference formula. We had sine, we had cosine. Now we're going to have tangent. Tangent of theta plus beta, you could call it x plus y. It doesn't matter, they're just variables. Is equal to the tangent of theta plus the tangent of beta all over 1 minus tangent theta, tangent beta. That's when you have the addition here. When you have the subtraction, you have tangent theta minus tangent beta all over 1 plus tangent beta. Step on the duck. All right, one thing you have to remember today. Well, you should all remember this all the time. Hope you can see that, but it's just my quadrant, one of my unit circle. 60 degrees, same as pi over 3. 1/2 radical 3 over 2. You've got that on your unit circle. You should know quadrant 1. And remember also, we have all students take calculus X. All of my trig functions are positive. Sine is positive here. Tangent is positive here. Everything else is negative. Cosine is positive there. Everything else is negative. Okay, so lost my eraser, so I'm going to use some tissue here. Ugh. Let me focus that guy real quick. And I think that should be okay. And okay. So now then, again, that is your quadrant 1 of your unit circle. Now we're going to go backwards. Last assignment we went from left to right. We gave you the left side. You had to find the right side. Take those hoods off. Now we're going to go the other way. Get out your formula sheets to show you the sine, sum and cosine, sum and difference formulas for your trig functions, the one I just put up there. All right, for this problem, I'm going to have the cosine of pi over 16. The cosine of pi over 16 times the cosine of 3 pi over 16. That's a 3. 3 pi over 16 minus the sine of pi over 16. Times the sine of 3 pi over 16. If you will notice, that is the right-hand side of our, take a look at this, cosine, cosine, sine, sine, with the subtraction symbol. So you take a look at your formula sheet. You have cosine, cosine, sine, sine with the subtraction symbol. That means we're doing the sum of cosine. Cosine of theta plus beta. So that is the left-hand side. All of this is everything that is over here. They've already given that to us. We are not going to evaluate that. Please listen to what I'm saying. I'm not going to put this stuff in the calculator. Everything on the right-hand side is equal to the left-hand side. So all we have to work with is the left-hand side. So this is going to become, the left-hand side is just equal to the cosine of pi over 16 plus 3 pi over 16. That is what the left-hand side of your formula shows you. Simplify this. This is equal to the cosine of 4 pi over 16. Simplify that. 4 goes to 4 once, 4 goes to 16 fourth. That is equal to the cosine of pi over 4, which is equal to radical 2 over 2. That's all there is to it. It's much easier. We're going to have this part, and you transfer it over to the left-hand side. All right. Oh, boy. Yes, I've lost my eraser again. Why should I be any different here than I am at work? All right, so now then, our next example. We are going to have the sine of 120 degrees. The sine of 120 degrees times the cosine of 60 degrees minus the cosine of 120 times the sine of 60 degrees. All right, so we know that 120 is in quadrant 2. If you want to know exactly what that is, remember that is the same as 180 minus 120. It's going to be 60 degrees. So we're going to have the same coordinates as 60 degrees, except ours is going to be in quadrant 2. So this is going to be on, that's the right-hand side of, when you have sine, cosine, minus cosine, sine, sine, cosine, minus cosine, sine. That tells you it's the difference formula. Sine of theta minus beta. Just using the left-hand side. This is the sine of 120 degrees minus 60 degrees. So that's just equal to the sine of 60 degrees, which is what it's going to come out to be, so we didn't even need that. Sine of 60 degrees, and you know when I showed you quadrant 1, the sine of 60 degrees is equal to radical 3 over 2. All you're working with is the left-hand side. I will smack each and every one of you that tries to plug everything in your calculator for the right-hand side. You think I'm kidding? Watch. All right, so now then, this next example, I have the tangent of 25 degrees. That is the formula that I just gave you, plus the tangent of 110 degrees. Take a look at your formula sheet. I'm not going to show it to you again. I've already shown it to you and you have it written down. Over 1 minus the tangent of 25 degrees. That's a 5. 25 degrees times the tangent of 110 degrees. That is the right-hand side of your formula. We are just going to work with the left-hand side of that equal sign. So this is the tangent of 25 degrees plus 110 degrees. So that is equal to the tangent of 135 degrees. My goodness. That is also going to be in quadrant number 2. If you want to know what that is, subtract 135 from 180. When you do that, you're going to get the tangent of 45 degrees. Tangent of 45 degrees, which is equal to, I showed you the other day the chart, pi over 3 is the same as radical 3, pi over 6 is radical 3 over 3, and tangent is always going to be 1. But this guy, as we said, is in quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, sine is positive, everything else is negative, so that is a negative 1. All right, thank you for coming to this movie. Don't forget that we have popcorn and drinks out in the lobby. Just send me the money. All right, see you all later. Enjoy.